God rewards what you master. Can I testify of the goodness of the Lord? As I go on my spiritual journey and having a better relationship with Christ, my prayer has been, Lord, highlight anything in me that doesn't reflect your characteristics. And two things I know I can use improvement in is patience and not being quick to respond or whether say things out of frustration. So I've actively been meditating on scriptures that are focused on the problem. Because one thing I don't want is elevation without evaluation. So it's my heart's desire to truly please God. In my prayer time, I was honest with God. And I mentioned, God, I'm applying the strategy, but before a test come, I want to get more practice in. I want to be built up a little more. Well, God, in his humor, placed me in a situation to show what fruit in me would be produced. So I had to get my car serviced, and I knew I had a certain amount of time allotted before I had to be somewhere else this particular day. So time was very sensitive, right? I get to the dealership early. I had already knew I wanted to be the first one in line. So fast forward, I talked to the service rep, and she gave me a certain time I should be finished or estimate of time that I should be finished. And I could choose to wait in the lobby. Well, as I sat, time grew past what she quoted me. But in my waiting, and even to my own surprise, I stayed mindful, I stayed prayerful, and I stayed occupied. So after almost 2 hours passed the quoted time of 45 minutes, way past time for where I needed to be, I went to the counter to check out so that I can get that out of the way and perhaps save more time, in the end process once my car was dropped and pulled to the front. Well, once I got to check out and pay, she said, I quote now, because you were so patient and waiting, I'll give you 10% off. In my gratitude, I replied and said, okay, that's fine. I really appreciate it. So she goes to print out my paperwork. It comes back to say, you know what? If you just fill out this survey that she sent it to my email, all your services today will be free. Let me tell you, I wanted to shout right there in the middle of these folks' store because little did she know, to me, it was bigger than the money. It was God considering me. And guess what, y'all? I passed the test. I thought I needed more time to build up my character, but God showed me that I was ready for my next. And not only am I ready for my next, but God is sending overflow my way. So, in my encouragement to you, I say stay in the posture of prayer. Continue to show yourself approved. Always acknowledge God in all your ways so He can direct your path. Be thankful and rejoice in all things because God sees you and He cares. I leave with you this question: can God consider you?